All right, got another New England Patriots 2025 NFL draft target today. We got KeAndre Lambert-Smith, wide receiver from Auburn. I originally featured KLS back in a mock draft video in November, mentioning that I was wondering how he was doing this year after leaving Penn State for Auburn. At that time, I saw him as a promising vertical receiver with a lot of upside, but I didn't know if Auburn was going to utilize him properly in his final collegiate season. Well, for KLS, that move proved to be pivotal, as he posted a career-best 981 receiving yards on only 50 catches and 8 TDs in the SEC, which gave him second-team All-SEC. So yeah, he blew away my expectations by the end of the year. And I mean, he also really showed that he has a lot more room to grow, because I don't think Penn State nor Auburn has actually maximized them. What is more, it looks like the Patriots might be thinking the same thing, because they brought KLS in for a 30 visit. And I think he has potential to be that vertical motion Z that is really missing on this roster, which could make him a day 3 pick for the Patriots in a couple weeks. Now, I think KLS is a big sleeper amongst the media, and he has the physical traits that could really be molded into a starting receiver in a year or so. You ready? He's 6'1", 190 pounds, big wingspan, 40 yards at 4.37 seconds, with his 10-yard being 1.53. Now, he did not test this, but apparently in high school, his shuttle, this is absurd, 3.83. His shuttle apparently was 3.83. I don't know where, when, but that has been rumored. I did enough digging on it, multiple spots reporting it, so it wasn't just a one-off posting somewhere. I mean, considering that he did run a 4.3, he also had a vert, 35 inches, broad was 10.4. I mean, I guess he's got enough juice in the legs to get that, but that would be very impressive. Anyway, so for the season, performance goals, like I said, 50 catches, 981 yards, 8 touchdowns. That's actually an average of near 20 yards per catch, so pretty solid there. In terms of yards per route run, 2.42. Contested catch, not too bad, 54%. Drop rate around 5. That's, I think, for career, though. And explosive plays, so over 15 yards. First down and TD conversion rate 74%. So the guy is a big playmaker, downfield, intermediate routes. That 4.37 is definitely showing up on film. He gets on top of D-backs in a hurry and rarely loses foot races. He also is very good downfield. It's not just speed. He's got deep ball tracking, maintains his stride, and adjusts naturally to the football. Excellent spatial awareness and body control. Hands development. It's been better. It's improved significantly over his career, cutting his drop rate from around 14 down to 5 as a senior. So there you go. Route timing, that's definitely improved. Executes comebacks and intermediate breaks with great tempo, something that's definitely improved at Auburn. Change of direction ability. Again, we're going to go back to that 3.83 shuttle time. I'm not saying I see that on the field, but he does have sharp route breaks when he wants to, especially in certain ones. And he does have agility after the catch. He's got some moves. He's got some yak ability. And one of the pluses, blocking effort, not like a lot of highlights to it, but it's not like he just gives up, especially for being a Z. He's actually useful. Football IQ is obviously up there. Situational awareness. This guy knows how to move the sticks, knows where he needs to be, has leverage manipulation. So it's not just a raw athlete. This guy's got some skills, and he's been improving. That's the big thing, is the growth and development that we're seeing year over year tells me that there's a lot more left for this guy. As always, there's some areas of improvement. Route tree expansion. Now, I'm not going to put this on him, but we don't know. Both at Penn State and Auburn, these systems limited his reps to different routes. It's just reality. We just don't know if he needs to be a more polished route runner. I don't think it's his fault, but it's an unknown, so we have to list it. Physical press. I would have to say it's more about technique with the hands and just how to release. But things have gotten better, so give him that. The one that probably concerns me the most is the brakes aren't always clean. Transitions are a little bit muddy. But the underlying reason, I think, is what kind of gets overlooked by teams, which is the running mechanics and technique. KeAndre has a very low knee drive when he's running. And like any athlete, you want to have high knee drive and limited backside mechanics. The high knee drive is not going to allow him to get him up to speed. Although he's got a 1.53 10 yard, it's actually not that great for his 40. It's quick, but it's not like blazing fast. So the lack of knee drive can lead to that, so he's a little bit hard getting off the line. And you can also see it down the field as well. It plays a crucial role in how effectively and powerfully a wide receiver can execute a pressure step or get quick breaks at the top of the route. This is where timing, separation, and route precision really comes together. So those things I was talking about, him having a muddy break, if he cleans up the front side and limits the backside, you have a better foundation, be cleaner on those breaks, and get even better separation downfield. So high knee drive loads the hips, and the biomechanics behind this is actually kind of simple. A high knee drive loads the hips for explosive change directions and just force production. So a receiver drives their knee high during their sprinting or route transitions. They're effectively coiling up their hip glutes, which will store as elastic energy. That stored elastic energy is what is going to be released during the sharp cut or power step. And like a speed cut or a dig or a one-step break on a comeback, without that high, tight knee drive, the hip remains in a low, more sluggish position, limiting how fast and forceful the receiver can be getting in and out of their breaks, even decelerating too and redirecting. So a better knee drive is going to equal a shorter ground contact time in their breaks. So again, not being heavy in the feet, and that has to come from knee drive. It's not just like what you're doing at the foot level, it's the thigh and hip, because that's what's producing power and absorbing it too and helping redirecting it. Receivers who maintain high knees in proper shin angles as they approach the top of the route are able to strike the ground underneath their center of mass, allowing for quicker, more forceful ground contacts. This means that they could stick the plant foot, apply the force, and transition to the break much faster with minimal energy loss. So high knees promote stiffness through their ankles and knee joints, which will reduce any lag in the pressure step or plant. It keeps the receiver in a reactive posture for sudden movement. As they're driving their knees higher, the posture stays tall and loaded, rather than being bent over and rounded. The head is over the hips are over the feet. This posture makes it much easier to decel and then re-accelerate into a different direction. Whether it's a rocker step or a post corner or a snap down on a curl, the ability to make sudden, violent changes of direction starts with the body being a biomechanically prepared position. And that starts with consistent high frontside mechanics. Another thing, high knee drive supports tempo variation without giving tells. If I have good high knee drive, you're not going to tell when I'm going to do it, because regardless if I'm going fast or slow, if I'm in the same position, I have the same mechanics, I'm not giving you any tells. Davante Adams is a master of this. He uses subtle variations in his tempo to manipulate the defensive backs, but he maintains high knee drive and even at a slightly reduced pace, keeping the body language neutral so defenders can't tell when the break is actually coming. So when it's time to explode, he does the pressure step or snap and he's gone. This is one of the things about KeAndre is that, again, he has low knee drive in the front, and then if you look at him when he's running behind him, his heel gets way up near his butt. That's, again, if it's high in the back, it's going to be low in the front. You want to invert that. You want high in the front, limited in the back, low in the back. Again, that's not just for speed, but that's going to help him have enough power that when he does make that pressure step or plant or whatever, when he needs to put force in the ground, it's going to be powerful. It's coming from a higher spot, right? So it's going to be coming from a loaded, more elastic position. It's going to produce more power. It's going to do it quicker. It's going to be under the center of gravity, much better posture. Everything that you want to be better will be better because of the knee drive being in front and limited backside mechanics. Now, can that be worked out? Yeah. It's a sprinting mechanic. He needs to go work with a sprint specialist. What's interesting is one of the guys that does a really great job with this is Steph Diggs. It's one of the reasons why he not only is very good as a route runner and he's fast, but it's also, he hasn't really lost too much of a step over the years. He's not perfect at it, but he's decent enough, really crisp separation versus guys who tend to drift or round out their cuts. So KeAndre has that excessive backside mechanics, which is going to, again, lead to that low knee drive. I believe this is one of the reasons why we're seeing some of these breaks be less than ideal. It's workable, needs to be taught, but at the same time, the hard part is the transition. You're working with speed coach, sprint coach, somebody that knows how to, drill this out, and then you have to somehow work them, integrate it into their actual on-field performance. That's obviously very reliant on the player. I mean, I'm not even saying like that's going to inhibit him, but if he can work those things out, I mean, KLS fits perfectly as like a motion Z mold, a very high-speed off-ball receiver who can be moved around pre-snap to avoid jams and build momentum, which can make him a field-stretching, like maybe wide receiver 3, and then maybe work up to like a wide receiver 2 at some time. His knack for creating separation and intermediate returns and vertical routes will make him an immediate chain mover and also a big play threat. So there is some value right now for the Patriots there. And there's plenty of evidence of this on his tape. This guy knows how to use his go route threat to set up devastating curls or sneaky post routes. I would have liked to see Auburn maybe pull some more screens and short game, let him use his yak skills a little bit more, but which I think is kind of underrated. I mean, I know he's going to be seen as like that intermediate deep ball guy, but I think he could be interesting in those screens and maybe crossers. I mean, Josh McDaniels, a lot of people just put the Patriots as kind of like the shifty slot guys, but he's valued those motion Z receivers who can create clean releases and vertical leverage off play action and option-based passing systems. Now, we can think about probably Brandin Cooks being one of the better motion Z guys. That was back in 2017. Aguilar was kind of similar. He was schemed up on deep crossers and digs, from a stack or a motion. So I could see how KeAndre's elite 4.37 speed and, honestly, some nuanced leverage usage and rapid transitions out of motion can make him a tailor fit for that role. Now, another thing to consider, besides just Josh McDaniels, is Drake May. Drake being known for kind of those deep intermediate timing routes, So they can probably throw in things like concepts like dagger, wide cross, deep flood would be another one. So that's where a Z receiver who's got that speed and can manipulate defensive backs from motion and force safeties into early decisions can be deadly. KLS gives them that vertical dimension with enough short area quickness to do runovers, comebacks, and speed outs from reduced splits. So it's not going to be a tell if he's on the field. There's other things he can do. His ability to consistently track and win on deep targets, again, really good catch rate, 63% there, over 20 yards, matches perfectly with what May can do with his deep ball prowess and his willingness to target tight windows downfield as well. Now, given the current wide receiver room, KLS could thrive in like a 21 or 12 personnel to isolate some matchups, stress the safeties, and open up the middle of the field for May's intermediate attack. Obviously, there's a clear need for a receiver who can contribute to explosive plays immediately and fill that vertical motion void that McDaniels is probably going to want to run a little bit of. Now, interestingly, my comp for KLS is kind of like Tyler Lockett, who I must remind you was linked to the Patriots as a free agent, so very notable. And like Lockett, KeAndre is a glide with terrific body control and has an innate ability to track deep passes over the shoulder without needing to gear down. Both share compact but yet springy change of motion mechanics. Both execute option routes with precision and consistently create separation with sudden stems. Now, Lockett offers a slightly more refined route tree, but that's to be expected. And he does have some more experience in scramble drills, but KLS shows the same knack for maximizing those downfield throws and presenting a clean target for vertical routes. Now, I would say KLS's best, cleanest stylistic comp would be Tyler Lockett. And it's not just because of the frame or the slight straight line speed, and it's the deceptive vertical separator too. There's also that to be thrown in there. Although not elite size or brute force, but they both have route tempo manipulation, spatial awareness, and again, the deep ball threat. And also like Lockett, KeAndre doesn't really need all that dramatic head fake and excessive footwork to create separation. He relies on subtle pacing, efficient angles, and elite transition out of stems. Something that like actual legitimate NFL receivers do, not just like dance around for like TikTok videos. You consistently can see KLS fade into space downfield. He just doesn't explode past the defensive backs as much as he runs them into blind turns with tempo and then acceleration layering. the exact trait that makes Lockett so valuable back in the day for Russell Wilson on those deep corner post combos, you see with KLS. And it would work with Josh McDaniels, that timing-based intermediate and deep routes. It's going to work. So, interesting. And also, there's that connection to Brandin Cooks. Now, again, different sizes, but, Cooks back in 2017, motion Z field stretcher for New England. We're missing that at the moment. Now, back then, like 2017, you could see it that way. He was vertically and horizontally manipulating safeties, forcing defensive structures to declare, so the rest of the offense could operate in space. We don't really have that, so I have to imagine McDaniels will say, go find me some guy, and here he is. You can, and the thing is, you could scheme up some deep isolation routes for him. You got go, obviously fade, those dagger post corners. I think KLS could work really great out of those stacked looks, or put him in motion, or get him untouched off the line, whatever it takes, just to get him untouched off the line, and he's going to be dangerous. And that's where the Lockett comp really becomes critical, because both he and KLS and Cooks can threaten vertically without tipping their intentions. What's interesting, statistically, in like role-based comparisons, all three of those guys really similar in terms of route yards per route run, deep target rate, deep catch rate, average depth of target, ADOT, explosive play rate, motion usage. Brandin Cooks had a little bit more motion usage, but they're basically the same. And also, like, first down, touchdown conversion rates, almost all the same. So it's very interesting. Like, they match up stylistically, role-based comparisons they do, stats-wise, a lot of interesting metrics. These guys stack right up against each other. So, and my point of doing all this is, they're bringing in 30 guys. There's guys they've been talking to, meeting at the combines, pro days, other, showcases, private workouts. You hear all these names, and this one, when you go and you look it up, it makes way too much sense. There's just, between McDaniels and the strengths of Drake May, everything just seems to be matching up for KLS here. I know the Bills are in on him, so that's interesting. But KLS and Josh McDaniels' system, where like vertical threats must be efficient, motion versatile, and to be precise with their route depth. KLS checks all those boxes. He doesn't need to be a 100-target guy to be valuable, too. Maybe he just needs like 3 a game, and that should be decent enough. And again, why I'm focusing on Cooks and Lockett, the Patriots were rumored to be in on both of them, and they still haven't got the guy on the roster yet. So I don't know about you, but I think KLS might be a Patriot by the end of this month. Hats off to the scouting team. That's a nice matchup for a potential day 3 guy. Anyway, what do you guys think of KLS? Do you think the Patriots should target him? If so, when? Let me know in the comment section below. If you guys like this content, please like and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching.